Hey, welcome back to our week 2 study in the book of James as we're talking about having a faith that works. Last week we began chapter 1 and we read through verse 12 as we talked about how we need to develop endurance in our faith and how that endurance can help us to overcome tribulations and troubles in our lives. Today we're going to talk about how difficulty or adversity can lead to deeper joy. So as we mentioned last week, life has a way of pounding on you day after day. And this has a way of weighing on us, bearing us down till we get tired and cannot continue much further. This is why having endurance in your faith is key to successfully finishing the race that is before you. Yet, what if all the trials, all the troubles that you face could lead to something beautiful or something incredible? So James says in verse 2, consider it an opportunity for great joy. Consider what? When troubles come your way. I don't know about you, but when troubles come my way, the last thing on my mind is joy. It is very hard to look at adversity in our life and think that it's going to lead to something amazing. What happens most of the time is we look up to God and say, why me? Why is this happening, God? Why are you allowing this to happen to me? So James challenges that way of thinking in verses 13 through 15 by saying, do not say, God is tempting me. God is never tempted to do wrong, and He never tempts anyone else. Temptation comes from our own desire, he says, which entices us and drags us away. He goes on and says, these desires give birth to sinful actions, and when sin is allowed to grow, it gives birth to death. The troubles we face do not come from God. Yes, God does allow them, but God does not cause them. There is a difference. Most of the troubles that we face are self-inflicted because of our own sinful nature, because of our own selfish ways. But sometimes bad things just happen. Not because they are self-inflicted or because God caused them. Sometimes bad things just happen because we live in a life that is affected by the curse of sin. What is important is in these moments is to remember that God is present in these times of trouble just as He is present in the times that are good. So how does all this lead to deeper joy? James continues and says, don't be misled. Whatever is good and perfect comes down to us from God. He never changes. We become His prized possession. Whether our tribulations, our troubles came because they were self-inflicted or because simply we live in a world that is full of sin and bad things just happen, God still has a plan. God still has a purpose. God is present, God is powerful, and God is going to pour into us. When you endure something, as we saw last week, you come out stronger. When certain metals are put into the fire, after you take them out and beat them a bit, the final production is something that is way stronger than it was before. It must go through the fire to become stronger. And that is what happens to us if we allow it. And that is what we're talking about when we talk about how these difficulties or adversities can lead to a deeper joy. When we face temptation, when we face troubles, when we face trials, if we endure, the outcome makes us so much stronger than we were before. Then we can have deeper joy than we have ever had before. Once we discover the joy of tribulation, we can become very dangerous to the enemy. See, our enemy relies heavily on the tribulations and troubles in our lives to keep us from being useful to God. Yet if we discover how our troubles can make us stronger, then the enemy gets scared. So find deep joy in your difficulty or adversity. So the next time things go badly, don't blame God. Don't get mad. Look for the joy that comes when you go through on the other side, or come through on the other side. When you're going through the fire, understand it can make you stronger. And for us, how do we apply this? How do we allow this to encourage us when we're going through difficulties or adversity? And try to look for the joy in it. Whenever you go through something that is really, really difficult, whenever you go through something that is hard, in the moment, it seems like your life is falling apart. But if you have ever gone through something and come out on the other side and looked back and seen how God had His hand working on you and was there every step of the way and brought you through it and made you stronger, you now are in a place and a position to find someone else going through something similar and to encourage them and to reassure them that God will be there every step of the way and that you can come through it stronger. And the next time that you face a difficult situation, the next time that you face a difficult position or adversity strikes, you know that you can come out stronger and that you can find deep joy in it. And the enemy cannot use that to beat you down, to keep you from being useful to God in His kingdom work. But you know, because of the adversity, because of the troubles and the trials that you go through, you can become even more useful to God in what He's trying to do in the lives of you and everyone else. So thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in as we continue to talk about our faith that works. See you guys next week.